All righty. Let's see. Are we live, everybody? And we're live for 14 seconds now. Hey, good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday. Okay, yep, so like we're live now. Yay! Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Happy Thursday, November the 16th, 2023. And I am so excited to be here today. I have very distinguished guests. And for those who know me, Danny of Natural LID, and welcome. And I have a very distinguished guest, a wonderful aromatherapy colleague. And not only that, a natural medicine practitioner. Say hi, Dr. Sheila.
Hello. Hello, Danny. Hello, everyone.
Yes. So before we get started, I'm going to give a little bit of an intro and then we'll get right to it. Okay. So tell you a little bit about Dr. Sheila. Dr. Sheila Johnson. She's known as Dr. Sheila, right? She has a doctorate in natural medicine, specializing in lifestyle wellness coaching. She has certifications in natural health and as an aroma care specialist who provides emotional support with essential oils, a woman after my own heart, right? For women with thyroid related imbalances. How important is that? Dr. Sheila is a whole health supporter and enthusiastically dedicated to holistic health practices. She cherishes reading books, watching classic movies, pop trivia, and writing haiku poetry. Did I say that right? Haiku or haiku? Did I say it?
Haiku.
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 All
I think
right.
that's how you say it.
Yes, how wonderful. And then her heartfelt dedication revolves around aiding others in exploring their inner selves, y'all, and fostering their wellness through self-care routines. She provides guidance to assist others in discovering focus and clarity amidst their health challenges. Last but not least, Dr. Sheila embodies empathy as a thoughtful listener and serves as an inclusive educator for women, guiding them to prioritize comprehensive self care for enhanced well being. Oh, I have said a mouthful, and I just accolades to you for all that what you do and all that you have accomplished, right? And those that you help. Yeah, those that you help and you're here to serve with. So just to get started, bring up our comments here. We're going to start off, right? So I'm gonna start off by saying you have your PhD in natural medicine and you specialize in natural health life coaching. And you are a fellow aromatherapy colleague, right? We both
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the use of essential oils. Can you first start off telling me about we're going to get into all of that, but first, can you tell me about your natural health degree journey? More about that. How did you come to have a degree in natural medicine?
Mm-hmm. Well, I thank you for asking that. And I'm so happy to be here, Danny. Thank you for asking me to be on and inviting me to be on. It's my pleasure to be here tonight. Uh, First, I want to say this goes back, I know, a good maybe 20 years, how I got started in getting my degree. It all started just by taking a natural health course
Okay.
a while back. I took a course and it was for a weekend and took it on a Friday and it was over with. I received my certificate on that Saturday or Monday. It was a short course.
Okay.
And it was going to be a certification in natural health.
Okay.
Well, after I received, well, I'll say this during my coursework, I had to do homework for the class.
Okay.
And the homework that I had to do, I had to actually interview a naturopathic doctor.
Okay.
So at that time, I looked in the yellow pages, which they don't have anymore. Everything is online now.
I understand. For those, Yellow Pages, it's a book where you
Yellow
look up
pages.
stuff.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And I looked on the yellow pages and I found a naturopathic doctor in my area. And I said, the only way that I can interview her is I have to become a client or patient myself.
Oh,
So I went into her office and I became a customer, a client.
okay.
And also, it was my homework. I also turned in my homework by talking with her. And just by going with her, I would say going to her for about maybe a month or 2 months, I started to feel so much better because I want to say I had health issues at the time.
Okay. Okay.
So she provided assistance for me and
Okay.
helped me with natural supplements, natural remedies
Okay.
to help me
Okay.
because at the time I had thyroid issues.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
And so the thyroid issues that I had was really off the charts. But in those 2 months, it got to the point where I wasn't taking any medication whatsoever. Just by going to
Wow.
her and doing self-care practices
Okay.
and also whatever she recommend for herbal remedies, I did that.
Okay.
So it was all about the self-care. So going back, I became involved in natural health and I decided to go to school.
Okay.
Just by being involved with the naturopathic doctor, I said, well, I might as well go to school because I'm so interested in the
Okay.
field. And I saw changes in myself. I saw changes in my health with my family as well.
Okay.
So I wanted to be able to teach, to get a degree in natural health and also improve my health too, to continue to improve my health.
Okay.
So that's what I did. I enrolled in school and I already had my bachelor's degree
Okay.
and master's. And then I
Mm-hmm.
went for my PhD degree in natural medicine, specializing in lifestyle wellness coaching. I,
Wow. Uh-huh.
and I want to say, Danny, that in lifestyle wellness coaching and also natural medicine, they're two different things.
Okay.
And a lot of people think that with my doctorate in natural medicine, that I am a naturopathic doctor. There is such a thing as naturopathic, ND, as they call it, not MD, but
Okay.
ND. But
Okay.
I'm not a naturopathic doctor. Naturopathic doctor, according to the school that I enrolled in, they do more clinical research. And I did
Oh,
more of the educational research. So it was more of a clinical application for the naturopathic doctor course. And for myself, I did more educational research. So my PhD is more of education,
mm-hmm.
not naturopathic. So that's why I have a specialty in lifestyle wellness coaching.
Oh, okay. Thank you for sharing that distinction because you hear natural and you might think, well, natural health and naturopathic doctors or natural medicine is all the same, but there is a
Yes.
definite distinction between
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And so it sounds like from your experience, your own personal experience, and you're going to the naturopathic doctor, it inspired you to get your PhD in natural medicine, which is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. And, we had talked about this, prior to this conversation. You mentioned that you were passionate about serving women, right? Women of
Mm-hmm.
all ages with thyroid conditions. Can you tell me more about that? What prompted you to focus specific on population of us women?
Yes. And working with the women, all women, uh,
Yeah, yeah.
not just specific ages, but all women dealing with thyroid health. I felt like that was my calling to do because I had thyroid issues myself,
Okay.
and then my thyroid issues healed,
Mm-hmm.
and so I said this is a way for me to work with women just like myself.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was diagnosed with thyroid, I didn't really know where to really turn. Um,
Mm.
I had a lot of issues going on with me,
Okay.
and my doctor saw the issues,
Mm-hmm.
and my I would say my family doctor, and there were issues that he was pointing toward menopause,
Mm.
but it wasn't menopause. It
Okay.
was thyroid.
Okay.
So it took a while for to be diagnosed with that,
Okay.
because I would go to the doctor. I had all these symptoms. As with thyroid, you do have a lot of symptoms.
Okay.
So I had racing heart, and my vision changed, where I
Mm.
couldn't really see very well,
Okay.
and racing heart, and dizziness, and
Mm.
weight loss. I had so many different issues going on, and I didn't know what was going on with me.
Okay.
And so I wanted to work with the women with thyroids, because I am a woman. I did have thyroid issues. So they'll know where they can turn if they're having issues. Like, where do I go? What do I do? Why is this happening to me? So you have all kind of questions in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And along with that, then you're having anxiety issues. You have a lot of emotional issues that go along with it too. You
Wow.
have anxiety, you have a little bit, you might have depression, you might have stress, and you trying to figure out, I know with myself,
Right.
why am I like this? What is going on? I know I don't feel well, but what is it?
Okay. Okay.
hmm
Well,
And it's so many people, women now, today, s- don't know if they have thyroid issues or not. A lot of them don't.
right. I thank you
hmm
for bringing that up because it could cross my mind. This is just sort of add on to that. So you were finally diagnosed with a thyroid disease. Was this a specific test that they said, okay, conclusively you're having thyroid issues? If you want to share or can tell. Uh,
Well, they said that I had thyroid issues through my blood work.
okay.
When I took blood work, and you have to go to a specialist, because I was having blood work done through my family physician, and
Mm,
then my family physician, they didn't see anything really. You
okay.
know, as I was mentioning, they mentioned that it could be menopause, it could be some other issue,
Right.
but they sent me to a specialist,
Okay.
endocrinologist,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
they gave me the blood work, and that's what was the diagnosis.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. I was say there is a such. I was going to say endocrinologist, but I wasn't 100% sure. So thank you for saying. I said, "What is that special doctor?" Oh, awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, he or she took more blood work, and then that was conclusive for your thyroid concern.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, great that you were able to get a final diagnosis for all the symptoms that you were having.
Mhm.
And thank you for sharing that. And so you mentioned about working with women and wanting to work with women because you are a woman and wanting to help them navigate through this, which brings me to my next question. Um, could you provide any sort before your diagnosis, or maybe you found out afterwards? Did you know of any statistics as it relate to women, or if in fact maybe even Black women, about having this condition
Mhm.
offhand?
Yes, I do. Let's see. I'm going to read some statistics right now
Uh
that I did some research on here, but
huh.
the statistics are women. Uh, well, women in general
Mm-hmm.
are 5 to 8 times more likely than men to have thyroid problems.
5 to 8. Okay.
5 to 8.
Okay.
And more than 12% will develop thyroid problems within their lifetime.
Hmm.
hmm
Okay.
Uh, Thyroid disease often goes undetected. As many as 60% of people that have it and don't know they have it.
60%. Okay.
60%. So,
Okay.
what I'm saying is, too, I think people don't know they have it because maybe the doctors might tell them something different, or they might not have gone to a doctor to see what's really going on. They just suffer with it,
Mm-hmm.
whatever these symptoms might be. So
Mm-hmm.
they're not sure that they have it, or they don't know that they have it.
Right. Right.
hmm
Okay.
So it all relates to 1 to 8 of women
Okay.
may develop thyroid disorder in their lifetime.
Okay.
And so that statistics will vary according to age,
Okay.
lifestyle factors, and geographical location as well, and environmental factors as well.
Wow. I'm glad you said that because that was my next leading question. Like, what sort of contributing factors? I know you can't name them all because there might be a new number of them, but what contributing factors um, contribute to a person having thyroid concerns or conditions?
Uh, well, when I went to my endocrinologist
Mm-hmm.
and I was diagnosed with my condition,
Uh-huh.
they mentioned that they didn't know what the reasoning was for why I have thyroid disease. They didn't know what it would be, what it could be, but they knew I had it.
Mm-hmm.
So they were willing to work with me with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that factors has a lot to do with some of the factors could, I think,
Mm-hmm.
is diet
Mm-hmm.
is a big factor
Okay.
in what we eat. Also, um, poor diet, and also nutrient deficiencies as well.
Okay.
I think toxins in the environment. I think all of that has a lot to do with thyroid issues.
Hmm.
And in doing research um, in traditional Chinese medicine,
Mm.
in
Mm-hmm.
that study,
Yeah.
they mentioned that thyroid has a lot to do with um, the
Hmm.
speaking and suppressing of your speech, of how you really feel.
Oh.
And so thyroid issues, that's why when I read about women having it more so than men, I know at times, sometimes women can be, we suppress our emotions a lot more, most sometimes than men do.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't speak up as much. And so, according to traditional Chinese medicine, that's where they mention that it's a suppressed emotion from not speaking your truth.
Wow. Wow. So that that is absolutely wonderful. I'm saying that to say not wonderful to have a suppression of speech by no means, but to have that insight, and you mentioned about Chinese medicine and not knocking anything about conventional Western medicine, but sometimes our um other counterparts has are so much further advanced with what I want to say with exploring different ways or different ways of dealing with health and different solutions or like you said characteristics of what bring on certain health conditions because who would ever thought because no Western doctor has ever told you that, right?
No, no, not at all. Not at all. Because I guess it's because it's a different type of medicine is traditional Chinese medicine versus Western, I guess.
Yes.
And it made me think of this too, Danny,
Yeah.
about you hear the terms of complementary
Yeah.
medicine,
Yeah.
alternative medicine, and
Yeah.
conventional therapies. Well, when I work with um, a client,
Yeah.
I do more of I guess what you call complementary therapy
Okay.
because I don't tell anyone to stop taking their medication if they're on thyroid medication. I
Mm-hmm.
don't do that. But what I do is I work as a complementary. So I offer self care practices to help a woman with their thyroid issues because like I said, their emotions are haywire at this time, during this time, when they
Right.
have these issues. So my therapy is more complementary, and alternative is where you take everything out and start everything alternative. So, in other words, I would tell the client if I was doing alternative
Mm-hmm.
to stop taking the medication, to take what I'm all telling you to do. But I don't do that. I like to work along with what the client is already doing. If they're taking prescribed medication, I don't tell them to stop doing that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for
Mhm.
pointing that out. Right. Absolutely. We're not encouraging that for anybody to stop taking their medication or stop with their primary care physician, but offering them the opportunity to explore and add to what they're already doing with natural medicine. Right.
That's right.
Absolutely. So thank you for that. That leads me to my next question. You utilize essential oils for ongoing self-care routine, right? Coupled with your
Mhm.
knowledge, as a PhD in natural medicine. Can you tell us how that has been a part of your personal healing journey using essential oils, and how has that benefited you? And
Mhm. Well, I love essential oils. I really do. Those little bottles are so potent and they're like magic. That's what I call them. They're like magic in a bottle. And it healed me for my thyroid issues as far as self-care practices and using essential oils. But let me go back a little bit further to tell you that when I started using essential oils, I didn't know anything about them really.
same here.
I, d- you know, I mean, I knew a little bit. I would see them in stores,
Uh-huh.
and I was okay. What is this? And I must be honest. I was thinking it was something that I shouldn't be bothered with. I thought maybe I shouldn't mess with this. Someone else should do it. Maybe I shouldn't do this. And so one
Uh-huh.
day I went to the naturopathic doctor that I was speaking of, and the receptionist told me, "Oh, we have some essential oils now here in the office."
Hmm.
And I said, "Oh, really?"
Okay.
And she said, "Here, try this. Just
Okay.
try it, pay me later. Just try this oil."
Okay.
Well, at the time, I looked at the oil and I said, "Now, what do I do with this?
Right, 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 right,
What do I
right.
do?"
Uh-huh.
So I called the office. I called her and I said, "What do I do with this oil? I meant to ask you." And
Uh-huh.
she said, "You can take this oil and you can use it, put it on your tongue and
Mhm.
use it
Mhm.
internally."
Okay.
And so I was thinking internally. Now, this was a bottle of peppermint oil that I was
Okay.
using.
Okay.
Excuse me. This was
Mhm.
a bottle of peppermint oil that I was using.
Mhm.
So I put it on my tongue
Mhm.
and it was cooling. And at the time um I suffered with indigestion a
Okay.
lot.
Okay.
And when I took the peppermint oil on my tongue, it
Mhm.
went away immediately.
Okay. Okay.
The indigestion.
Wow.
Because at night, I remember I used to have Rolaids in
Mhm.
a bottle, in
Okay.
a big bottle by my
Okay.
bed, and I would
Mhm.
take them because I would suffer with it more at night.
Right.
Got to the point I threw it all away. I didn't need it anymore.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. And you mentioned the modality about taking the essential oil. It sounds like what you did was you took it neat. You understand about neat without a
Hmm.
carrier, right? And
Yes.
you put it on your tongue. And we must point out to people, you need to know before you do that. You need to
Yes.
talk to, you are aroma specialist. I want to point that out again. You need to know if that's an essential oil that for you that you can actually utilize and use neatly, and the quality
Hmm.
of the essential oil, because you got it from a doctor in a doctor's office who obviously had therapeutic grade. Because we want to share with the audience, all essential oils are not created equal.
That is so true.
Can
That is
we?
so true. And I'm glad, yes, Danny, that is so true. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just didn't
yeah.
take
Work.
any oil. It was in a specific naturopathic office.
Mm-hmm,
It's certified therapeutic oil. The
mm-hmm.
grade of it was certified therapeutic. You got to look at the bottle because not
Yes.
each bottle is not safe to consume. And a lot of oils too mention that it is safe to consume, but you have to be careful of that too, because some oils have chemical compounds the same, similar to an over-the-counter medication.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be careful of that too, because if you take the oil internally and you're also taking over-the-counter medication,
Yes.
it might interfere
Yes.
with how the medicine works in your body.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you mentioned that. I always talk about that on my channel. Safety, safety, safety is key with me.
Hmm.
And what you're talking about is those what I call it was a contradictions or something like that. So if you take an essential oil, for example, you mentioned about peppermint with people with high blood pressure, that might not be an essential oil for you, right?
Right.
So I'm so glad that you mentioned that. If you're taking a medication, that's why it's important to work with or consult with a person who is versed in aromatherapy that can help you to point out those. You can point out those things for them or work with them. And when you're consulting with them, you go through that sort of assessment process,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
To see, okay, are you on medications? What type and what are they for? So if you're consulting with them and perhaps recommending certain essential oils, you know that there are certain ones that should not be recommended. And if so, recommended with caution, right?
That's right. And caution is the key. You have to, be careful of that. And also, you have to be careful of taking, after taking the aromatherapy course,
Mm-hmm.
the course that we took.
Mm-hmm.
I learned too that you have to look at this, the therapeutic, certified therapeutic grade. Just don't take any type of oil internally, like I said. And also, you don't want to keep taking oils internally all the time. I think there should be a certain protocol. That's where you need a certified aromatherapist to come in and give you some type of protocol where you don't take the oils every day or for 21 days or whatever it might be. I mean, I think a certain time period
Uh-huh.
for to take oils eternally, if they're certified and therapeutic grade, that's the key.
Yeah, and absolutely. And having mentioned that, even if you are taking medication and the essential oils that you may utilize, not taking them at the same time that you take your medication,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
so, so that
That's
leads
right.
me, that leads me to my next question. So, for those you have a practice, okay, and you work with individuals, and I imagine you um, offer them an opportunity to use essential oils along with what they're already doing. Can you share if you have any testimonies of the people that you serve, for example, with thyroid conditions, how they've benefited from working with you as a natural health practitioner or lifestyle coach?
Hmm. Well, I want to say that I do have some more statistics
Sure,
that I like to
absolutely.
read first before I want
Sure.
to answer that.
Yes.
But I wanted to say too that um, in a clinical study of 2,232 people
Mhm.
with Hashimoto's, 88% of those who went gluten free felt
Mm.
better,
Mm.
and 3.2 felt worse. 3.2, but 30, what did I say? 88% felt better, and 33% reduced their thyroid antibodies.
Wow.
Hmm.
That's and I'm glad that you mentioned that study. It's interesting that you talk about that because I am gluten free myself. I've never been diagnosed with a thyroid condition, but I wonder, is that something for just for our audience to consider? Now, what did they say was the contributing factor for the gluten? I know my issue was or is that stuff is tears up my stomach and my whole body goes into haywire if I have stuff with wheat in it. I break out in
Hmm.
rash and I get extremely bloated.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
so did they mention anything? Thank you for that statistic. Did they
Oh, you're
mention anything?
welcome.
Yeah.
Well, it mentioned that that the clinical studies mentioned that gluten is inflammatory.
Mm.
Yeah, gluten is inflammatory, and is when I was first diagnosed with thyroid issues, I'd never heard that before. I
Hmm.
had to do the research myself with that,
Mm-hmm.
that gluten is an inflammatory um, protein, inflammatory,
Mm-hmm.
and it affects the thyroid. It attacks the thyroid just like you punch it like a punching bag.
Wow.
So it affects that thyroid from producing that hormones, the
Okay.
metabolism, to help with the metabolism of the body. So uh, that's what does that. And then of course, poor gut health in what you eat as well. That has a lot to do with issues such as that, and stress and diet. Um, I do want to say too that, getting back to your question and
Mm-hmm.
working with my clients,
Mm-hmm.
they have felt better by going more gluten free, which they didn't know that they had to do at first.
Okay.
And I want to mention too that going gluten free doesn't just consist of just for people that have thyroid issues. Any
No.
type of issues dealing with hormones. So whether it be lupus, or just multiple sclerosis, anything like that, that's thyroid, that's I'm saying autoimmune conditions. That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Yes.
Gluten should be out of the diet as
I,
much as possible.
oh, Lord help you. Yes. I'm speaking of my own testimony here, y'all. And the reason why I say that, when we
Mhm.
say gluten, we mean wheat.
Yeah.
Okay. Because when I
Hmm.
first started out, I didn't know that they were synonymous. I didn't know. Oh, I said, I just want something that's gluten free. And this guy, somebody at the grocery store had to point that out to me. So when we're talking about gluten free, or the one of the clerks at the grocery store had to tell me what gluten and wheat were the same. I was like, oh,
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
So, but I'm so glad that you mentioned about that. And I've been gluten free for close to 20 years now, just for that reason, having had issues with asthma and eczema. And once
Hmm.
I took that gluten off the table, I have not had those sort of issues like I had before.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's
that's why I wanted to work with women, because they didn't know that gluten is a culprit for a lot of issues, a lot of diseases.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So going back to the people that you serve, and so um that conventional Western eating lifestyle, right,
Right.
can contribute to some of our autoimmune responses or what have you. And of course, if you're going to a a regular doctor, just a regular conventional doctor, they're not necessarily going to say stop eating this. They may send you to a nutritionist if you ask, or refer you, right?
Right.
But they may not, or they might not even think about gluten as, or your eating habits contributing to what's going on with you. Because
Right.
your conventional doctor didn't mention anything like that, did they? Or
No. Mm-mm, not at all.
you know, and
Hmm.
you had to find out on your own.
Hmm. So, because it got to the point too that I was still taking medication. I took medication. I never stopped, but I still wasn't feeling myself. I
Okay.
wasn't feeling right. So that's why I had to do the research, because I still had symptoms.
Okay. And
Hmm.
that's just one lifestyle change that you made. Could you name a couple of other, or that was just the major lifestyle change you made to help with your condition, as far as foods is concerned?
Yes, as far as foods are concerned, going gluten free, um, changing my diet, uh,
Mm-hmm.
that was important, and just basically listening to my body, listening to what my body wanted. I did more self care practices, so I took that little bottle of oil and I did, I used it topically on my body, like a massage, put it on my body topically behind my ears and also behind my neck area.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped too with emotional release. And also using in a diffuser. And see, mind you now, I didn't even know how to use essential oils at first.
Right, right,
So I
right.
had to learn. So I had to learn all of that,
Right.
and all of that helped for me in my healing journey.
Wow, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. When you're talking about putting it on topically, it
Hmm.
is recommended that you put it on with a carrier oil, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking about these modalities. I want everybody to be aware. I don't want nobody just going grabbing any old bottle and said, "Oh, she said no." There are some steps in between, and that's why we
Hmm.
encourage you to seek out someone who is can share with you knowledge about the essential oils if you plan to use them for yourself. Okay, and
Yes.
how to use them. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're
Now
welcome.
you're talking about aromatherapy. Can you provide you just provided some specific examples of oils that to manage your thyroid concerns? You mentioned that you use peppermint. That was for
Yes,
the
that was for digestive
digestive.
issues.
Do you have
Hmm.
essential oils that you have found to be helpful with your thyroids?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny with essential oils. It's not one oil doesn't just work with one thing. You have one oil that works with so many different things.
Right.
So the oils that I pick, I have five that I
Okay.
really love that help me in
Okay.
my thyroid issues that I had at one
Oh,
time.
okay.
Notice I said had.
Right. All
Um,
right. Praise them. Right. Right. Right.
yeah. The first one is so important. It's frankincense, and I love
Yes.
frankincense. I love that essential oil. It has inflammatory properties, and really that oil, when doing a blend, you could do that oil with almost all oils
I
because it's
love
so
French.
powerful.
Absolutely. One of the ones, the only one that I'm aware of, I'm sure might be more, that goes through the blood-brain barrier. That's the key component of it that I absolutely love.
Oh
But yeah,
yes, yeah,
yeah.
love frankincense. Think about it, especially at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The second oil I think about too, that pairs so well with frankincense is myrrh.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Yeah.
other oil. And
Yeah.
myrrh is anti-inflammatory and immune healing
Mm-hmm.
is the myrrh. Third would be lemongrass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Those three oils right there are excellent. Lemongrass is supportive to the thyroid
Mm-hmm.
function of the thyroid.
All right.
So those three are beautiful in a blend.
Mm-hmm.
And then, for your anxiety, because when you have thyroid issues, sometimes you have a lot of anxiety, you have a lot of stress.
Okay.
The fourth oil is lavender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, lavender. That's a beautiful oil too. I love the smell of lavender.
Okay.
I really do. And I usually put that on my feet at night or the back of my neck. I love lavender, or put it in diffuser.
Mm.
And the fifth oil is sandalwood because it's
Yeah.
so grounding. It's such a
Yeah.
grounding oil, and I love that too, especially for meditation.
Mm.
Hmm.
Very
And that's
rich, woody smell,
yes, yes,
aroma. Uh-huh.
yes. So I want to say too that as I was saying earlier, to listen to your body.
Mm-hmm.
What I teach my clients is also self-care practices such as meditation. And
Mm.
that's where sandalwood comes in,
Okay.
where you can meditate and put a few drops of sandalwood in a diffuser
Mm-hmm.
as you're meditating. And
Right.
that really grounds you and balances you to have a beautiful session
Yes.
to the goals that you want to accomplish.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Oh,
And you mentioned a few drops of sandalwood. Few drops of that oil goes a long way.
yes. Because it's a thick oil too.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So thank you for sharing your special. And you mentioned the word um, which I don't mention a lot about on my channel. I usually talking about single oils, but you mentioned a blend. So blending is a whole nother story altogether, right? We could have a whole nother live about blending. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
So
Love
doc,
blending.
right. So Dr. Sheila mentioned about, those essential oils she used together. However, when you get it into blending, my dear beloveds, don't take all the essential oils and start blending them all together. I was talking about that on my live last week. One of the frequently asked questions is, well, can I just take the essential oils I have and just mix them all together and just utilize them? Not unless you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not recommended that you definitely need to encourage you to consult with a essential oil specialist, aroma specialist, a certified aroma specialist when you get into blending, right? Because you mentioned that
Right.
you use the oils and you might even blend them together, but you know how to blend them,
Mm-hmm.
as an
Yeah.
aroma specialist. But the average person who doesn't have that experience, there is a formula and there is a method
Yes, it is.
to
Mm-hmm.
to blending, literally
Yes.
calculations that you may do, percentage wise, and blending. So that's why we're pointing these things out, and I encourage you to work with um, someone such as Dr. Sheila, or aroma specialist, and in particular if you have a thyroid concern, connect with her. You see across the bottom of our screen that she has her IG page and her blog, but definitely want to work with somebody when you get into blending. Okay. I just want to, all those key points I need to stop and point out.
Mm-hmm.
You need to work with somebody. So thank you for sharing that. So you talked about the essential oils that you use for your thyroid, or had thyroid concerns. Thank goodness. Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But pivoting just a bit, you talked a little bit about this, where lifestyle. We might get to touching on stepping on some people's toes, Dr. Sheila. You get to talking
Uh-oh.
about, I know, right? You get to talking
Uh-oh.
about, I know, you get to talking about foods and things, and people get to, like, you're gonna tell me that I'm gonna have to stop eating this, or I might need to change this, or what have you. So as I say, we might step on some toes. So in advance, I apologize. However, again, now I've mentioned on my channel, I'm a practicing vegetarian. That lifestyle is not for everybody, because there are some things you need to do when you're a vegetarian, right?
Right.
Um, but you also practice a certain form of vegetarian, but there are different types. Could you tell us what that type is that you practice?
Oh, yes. What I practice right now is what you call, I guess, pegan
Mm-hmm.
diet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. The
Could you
pegan diet.
could you share what that is for the?
Mm-hmm. The pegan diet is almost it's like the paleo diet and vegan combined.
Okay.
I want to mention that I did the vegetarian diet and I also did the vegan diet. I did that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I try to be gluten free as much as possible. Um, but for me, I went into the pegan diet because uh, at one time, I think as a vegetarian, for me, it is a certain thing where you could become like a junk food vegetarian. And I was, and with me, I was eating, a lot of different things that didn't have meat
Mm-hmm.
that was considered, I guess, junk food, um,
Processed foods.
processed food.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing that, and I just wasn't feeling right with that. I didn't feel,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying physically, I didn't feel my best.
Right.
And so I looked into more of a pegan diet, which consists of eating um, protein, but eating protein such as chicken
Mm-hmm.
occasionally and fish occasionally. So I guess you could call that maybe a flexitarian as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
There's so many different names of diets.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it's so many different names for dieting. Um, but I do want to say this, that what I've noticed is there was a quote,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just going to read it right quick. It's by an
Sure.
author, Mike Pollan. Mike
Okay.
Poland. I hope I'm saying his name right.
Okay.
And he states his quote is just eat food, but not too much, mainly plants.
Hmm.
That's his quote. And I'm going to say it again, eat food, not too much, mostly plants. So I feel that any type of disorder that a person might have, it all stems down to the fact of eating fruits and vegetables. And if you're going to eat protein, they recommend on the vegan diet to eat it occasionally, not all the time. And if you're going to eat it,
Mm-hmm.
then eat it as a side dish. Eat your protein as a side dish.
Not a
Now,
main meal.
not a main meal. Now, in restaurants, if you go to a restaurant, you'll get a 12-ounce steak, for an example. That's not a side dish.
You could cut that up and actually.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the main meal because it's so big. I'm talking about you want it to be a side dish, even smaller than, even than smaller than the palm of your hand. Because some people say, well, when you're trying to lose weight, the protein should be the size of the palm of your hand. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking of smaller than that because it's just a basic side dish and it's not an everyday thing. That's what the vegan diet consists of. And just doing that for me helped me feel a little bit better physically. So
Okay.
I do add a little bit of meat in my diet. I don't eat any beef at all, but I
Okay.
do eat chicken occasionally. I do eat fish occasionally. And I do have meatless Mondays a lot too.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. You must have read my mind.
We
I was
thinking
just,
alike.
yes, you must have read my mind because for some people, going meatless is like, oh no, I can't give up my meat. And I was going to put out there and get your input on this. Start with just a meatless Monday. Start with just one day a week and say, well, Mondays, I'm not going to have meat if that's something that you want to try. And you mentioned about occasionally. And I have read that it wasn't necessarily meant for us to have meat every day.
Mm-hmm.
Not every day, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you mentioned a side dish, yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Um, and I'll share this with you. I think I mentioned to you, and I have shared with the audience. I'm also a lifestyle coach in the community for high blood pressure and diabetes, and that's one of the things that they talk about too. When it comes to portions, it should be you mentioned about the palm of your hand, but definitely a side dish, not the main meal.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
And so,
mhm, go ahead.
and I was going to say that also not the main meal. So, for an example, lunch or dinner could be for the main meal could be like a salad, and you add your beans or your other protein such as chicken or fish, and that's your main meal right there is a big salad, and
Mm-hmm.
it's filling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Absolutely. And not and I will say this, and you probably can say this too. Veggies for some people raw might not do your stomach very well. Everybody doesn't digest their food the same way, right?
Right.
Some people might need it to be steamed or cooked a little bit in order to be able to digest it. So we do understand that as well. Because I've heard people say, well, I can't eat, raw veggies and stuff like that because it upsets their stomach, you
Hmm.
know. So, cooking a little bit, not cooking the life out of it, right? So if you got some broccoli and it's bright green and it's pale green by the time you finish cooking it, it done lost some of its nutrients, if not most of it. Okay.
Right.
So yeah, so thank you for sharing that. So occasionally you have poultry and you and fish as a part of your lifestyle.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Hmm. But it's nothing wrong with also if you can tolerate that and do it the right way and not
Hmm.
do junk food vegan or vegetarian as I did. I think it's a wonderful thing to be vegan if you can handle that.
Right.
If you can handle that physically and it doesn't interrupt with your digestive system in any way,
Mm-hmm.
then I don't see any problem with that. And I think that's what I like the vegan diet is because it kind of introduces veganism as well and paleo. But with paleo, that gives more protein. You have a lot of protein that you're taking in every day. Whereas the vegan diet, you're not, but you are using just a little bit. You are taking in some protein, but not every day.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. I thank you
Hmm.
for sharing that because there are different variations of vegetarian. Some people don't eat dairy, and there's a name for that. There's people, some people only eat fish. There's a name for that. I'm not going to even begin to say that I know all the names. There are different variations, and like you mentioned, that you add the two together, right? The
Right.
vegan and the paleo. So I
Hmm.
had not heard that. So thank you um for sharing that. And you mentioned something also important. When I first became a vegetarian, yes, you don't know what to eat. So you're looking for those things that mimic the food that you used to eating, right?
Right.
So you're looking like if you were a person who ate bacon or if you're a person who ate chicken, and then they have these alternative foods in the grocery store. But you have to be careful about that because that's processed
Hmm.
and is loaded with sodium to preserve it.
Yeah, that's true.
And in the very beginning, I didn't know, okay, I used to eat this, I want something else, but this process isn't the right way to go. So that was a process for me too. So anybody out there, do not feel alone. If you feel like you want to go from being a vegetarian or not eating as much meat, know that or be aware that that processed stuff that you were talking about is is normal, where you might think that that is the go-to, but be mindful that is packed with a lot of sodium and stuff that you really don't want. so
Yeah, that's
so
true.
yeah,
Hmm.
so if I can help somebody, don't go to the processed food route with the vegetarianism, people.
Hmm.
What are you
Hmm.
gonna say?
I was going to say that I would recommend too or
Uh-huh.
suggest that if a person wants to become gluten free or they're looking at the paleo diet or vegan diet, I think it's best to kind of work with maybe doing an elimination
Mm,
diet first, just to see how it uh, taking some foods out will interact with your body. So
mm,
you might want to start doing dairy, take it out for maybe a week or so and see how it works. And then if you reintroduce it back into your body, into your system, a couple of maybe a week later, how do you react with that? How did it do for your body?
mm-hmm,
So that's the key, is just listening to your body.
mm-hmm,
But that elimination diet, that's another title for a diet, is the elimination diet,
mm-hmm,
where you eliminate inflammatory foods such as
mm-hmm.
dairy and gluten, of course. And I've seen some diets where you eliminate corn.
Yes, I don't eat corn
Yeah.
either, y'all.
Corn. I tell you.
We could have a whole nother live about those
Oh
inflammatory
yes,
foods.
I know. And grains. Grains is my thing. That's a bad for me. I can't handle a lot of grains. Yeah, I can't handle them every day. Once a while I can eat them, but it's rough to do it every day for me.
Yeah, yeah, and
Hmm.
I'm so glad you mentioned about the elimination diet because giving your body an opportunity to, I know this may not be the term for it, but to rebalance itself when you're not having that food, and then when you introduce it and seeing how your body reacts, you might discover that your body didn't like it in the first place.
Yes, that's right. Hmm.
You were wondering why you had those particular symptoms, and you might have been masking it by taking medications or the big pink bottles or the Tums, anything like that,
Yes.
not realizing that perhaps the food that you were eating, your body was just saying no thank you.
Hmm.
It's
Right.
saying no thank you. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
we
Yeah.
could have a whole nother live about that.
Yes.
Maybe another time. I'll have to have you back, Dr. Sheila. We can talk about that, right?
Yes. That'd be fine with me.
Oh, so, which leads me to, as we're wrapping up here, I thank everybody who has joined us. Thank you for Let's Talk About It with Myra for being here, sweetheart. Um, Now we talked about what you've done. You talked about your background and in your practice. What do you see are your plans and aspirations for the future of your contributions to the field of natural medicine and the use of essential oils for women? Like, what do you see going forward?
Mm. Let's see. I guess for the whole picture, I guess what I would love to see for women
Mhm,
in the essential oils is for them to uh, know more about essential oils. I would love to one day teach a course in essential oils for women to learn more about them, that they shouldn't be scared of it.
mhm,
Essential oils has been around for years. It is known as a plant-based medicine. It came out centuries ago. It's found also in the Bible with essential oil. So it's been around for years. And so I would love to teach. That's one of my goals, to teach a course in essential oils, the history, also Bible related. So people will know that it's nothing to be scared of in using essential oils. The things you have to think of different things in caution,
mhm,
but you shouldn't be scared of it, because it's been put here for us to use, to heal. And so I would love to do that. And what I would love to see, Danny, uh, a time where someone could go into a pharmacy
mhm,
and there would be an essential oils. I would love to
mhm.
see that in a pharmacy along with the medications as well and vitamins. I would
Mhm.
love to see that. I mean, I know you see essential oils in the Walmart, different stores like that, but they're always more cosmetic. I would love to see essential oils more therapeutic in
Mhm.
stores and
Right,
have pharmacists there to tell them how to use the essential oils in a
right, right.
therapeutic way.
Yeah, thank you for
Hmm.
pointing it out. We were just talking about that not too long ago. You talking about it may be cosmetics. Those are not therapeutic grade essential oils.
No,
You do
no, they're
not
not.
no.
Mm-mm.
And getting them from a reputable company is key and definitely important so that you know that you're getting a
Hmm.
therapeutic grade of essential
Hmm.
oils. And I love the fact that you've mentioned you would like to see essential oils in a pharmacy
Yeah.
alongside medicine.
Hmm.
Wow. What an act of Congress would that take?
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Would that ever happen? I would love to see that though.
I think you
Yeah.
might have to have your own brick and
Yeah.
mortar.
Yes. Yes.
'Cause I venture to say there are some people who might lobby against it,
Mm. Mhm. Mhm.
but that would be ideal. And how about this? You made me think about there is a another fellow YouTuber who said, all I want to do is have an herbalist in every home.
Mm. Mhm.
So perhaps, with the essential oils, we can say we can have an informed essential oil user in every home.
Yeah. Mhm. That would be wonderful. Yeah, I would like that. Mhm.
Just to be informed. Nobody's asking you to do what we've done. Everybody, now, everybody doesn't want to be an aroma specialist, or um, and we get that. You just might want to learn how to use them.
Right.
Uh,
Right. That's
and,
right.
uh,
um and for goals for myself, I will say that uh I mentioned about teaching
yes,
about the oils, and I would love to also continue my blogging, what I do on my
yeah,
page, as
yeah.
you can see on the I
Uh,
guess down below
uh-huh.
my Sheila J Wellness page. I do a little uh, mini blogging on that about holistic wellness for women over 50. So I talk about sleep issues and hydration. That's so important. Drinking more water. I mean, everything dealing
Speaking of
with
which.
holistic wellness, from physical, mental, spiritual, environmental, because it's all related. It's not just one thing, it's all related.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I would love to offer um, my ebooks and manuals to sell on my website. I'm working
Okay.
on that.
Okay.
And I also would like to offer personalized blends. I like to offer those for sale. I know we mentioned personalized blends, so that's another goal of mine, to actually offer personalized blends, because I do offer personalized blends to my clients during a session. I
Mm-hmm.
offer that they can use the blends, but I also would like to have them for sale on my
Mm-hmm.
website as well. And
Okay.
to teach others how to do their own blends. I like to also do that.
Yes, most
Hmm.
definitely, everybody. We were talking about that earlier. Do not go blending the essential oils we mentioned today together without knowing what you're doing. I don't want you to come back and say, Dr. Sheila said no.
Please don't do that.
And having said that, sweetheart, how can people connect with you if they want to work with you more? You know, for people who may have thyroid concerns, or how we have your IG at the bottom of the screen. You mentioned your blog, and so how people contact you to work with you? How should they?
Yes, well, I do have my, as you can see on the screen, I do have essential uh, Instagram, essential underscore resilience. That's on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
On that page, you can click on the link there and go right to my website.
Mm-hmm.
And my website is Dr. Sheila Wallace Johnson
Mm-hmm.
.com, and that you can go on that website and sign up to work with me.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay, awesome. Now I will say that the link is also in the bio, right, of your
Right.
Instagram page.
Yes, it is.
So we can point that out to everybody that in the bio, on Instagram, right? On Instagram, you have to go to the link in the bio in order to connect with her. So Instagram essential underscore resilience. You've seen it all night. To schedule an appointment with you, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Hmm. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. And such wonderful aspirations to have, want to do all those things. And you will. You absolutely will do all those things that you mentioned. Now, that being said, as we wrap up here, is there anything that you would like to add as your message for um, the audience, a relationship to well-being, healing from thyroid issues, or women over 50, or just in general, anything that you want to share with our audience?
Mm. I want to share, first, I want to say that
Mm-hmm.
in healing from thyroid issues,
Mm-hmm.
it all starts with the woman that has the thyroid issues. It
Mm.
starts with us, ourselves,
Okay.
and you have to learn how to do research for your body, listening to your body.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I mentioned, sometimes you're not always told what's going on or what to do. So you have to pay the advocate for your body and
Amen.
doing what is right and doing what is right.
Uh-huh.
Um, Most importantly, with thyroid issues,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's thyroid issues is inflammation of the thyroid.
Okay.
So it helps to eat better if you can. That, like I mentioned, eat more fruits and vegetables. Get rid of the gluten if you can, and
Yes.
do elimination diet as well.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, with thyroid issues,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes inflammation that attacks the thyroid is coming from stress as well. So you want to relax. You want to relax more and stress less.
Okay.
You
Okay.
want to do that as well. And so you want to just basically use essential oils to learn to
Mm,
release those suppressed emotions.
okay. Okay.
And that's important as well. So I do have a resource that I would like to leave
Mm-hmm.
for the people that are listening tonight. I
Okay.
do have a resource. I'm going to say it, read it here. It is called the Easy Thyroid Diet Plan.
Oh, we're gonna write that across here. The easy,
Hmm.
uh-huh,
Thyroid
thyroid diet.
Diet Plan.
And where can they get this?
That can be, you can get that from Amazon.
Oh, you have a book on Amazon?
That's not my book.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Not my
Okay.
book. I
Okay.
do have books, but you'll see that in my website. I do have books, essential oil books, but that I've written ebooks. But
Okay.
this is specifically a thyroid diet plan.
Oh, okay. And I'm gonna say it again.
Hmm.
Put it in the chat. The easy thyroid plan.
Thyroid diet plan.
Okay.
And it's a 28-day meal plan with
Okay.
75 recipes for symptom relief.
Okay. 28-day meal plan. Okay. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Oh, awesome.
And the author is Emily Kyle.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah,
You
her
spell it
last name
Kyle?
Kyle.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. I put it in the chat. I don't know if you can see the chat on the side, but I can also put it as a banner. And before I do that, did I get your website right, Sheila
Yes, you
Wallace?
did.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
Awesome. So for those of you who may not be able to show this, let's see. Here we go. The Easy Thyroid Diet 28-day meal plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is by Emily Kyle. Sorry, I didn't put them
Yes.
both together.
So
This is
she'll show you what you could do to suppress, for symptom
mm,
relief of the
oh,
thyroid issues that you have going
okay.
on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of your go-to books
Diet.
in the beginning.
Yes, through diet. Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing that resource. It's always good to have another resource in your pocket, as a go-to. So thank you for sharing that with
Oh,
us.
you're welcome.
So, um, I thank you for your time here and all that you shared with us. Is there anything else you would like to add, or as we're wrapping up? I know you just mentioned that. Was that it?
That was it.
Okay, all
Man,
right.
one more thing. Oh, I
Sure.
enjoyed being here tonight as well
Oh,
and
it's my
sharing my information. I love
oh,
doing this.
oh, absolutely.
Thank you, Danny.
Hopefully, it won't. Oh, you're more than welcome. Hopefully, we can have you back. This won't be the last time that you're on here. I thank you for gracing us with your presence and your knowledge. I'm always looking to and excited to meet fellow um, people in an aromatherapy world, also in my lifestyle world who understands.
Me
About different
too.
things. We talked about this off camera because sometimes when people you share with people the lifestyle that you have, they may look at you like you grew another head. It's like, huh? You're doing what? So that's a story for another day. So yeah, it's absolutely my pleasure. So hope you had you gained some knowledge about thyroid wellness and what you can do to help yourself. Definitely reach out to Dr. Sheila to learn more on her IG page. You've seen it scrolling throughout tonight. And she does offer one-on-one consultations and working with you in a blend and working together for that blend to help with thyroid concerns. And if you know anybody who has, thyroid concerns, definitely refer this video to them. Don't have to suffer in silence, right? And you
That's
mentioned
right.
you mentioned statistically about how many of us, don't even know that is even a concern or an issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so again, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had got a wealth of information, and we are applauding Dr. Sheila for being on
Thank you.
tonight.
Thank you.
And hold on for a moment, and we're going to end this live. Hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and it's a pleasure to serve you. And as always, as my channel, I say, let us continue to learn, grow, and share together naturally. Bye bye for now. Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Stay on for one moment, Dr. Sheila.
Okay.